to your point, marriage is not the ultimate goal for me. I do want to get married.
Well, that's good.
I do, but listen, so the thing about that word of, well, marry the girl, I'm not saying that to you directly. I'm saying that to the people who see this and their response. We're so trauma bond by this thought of get married, have kids. That's the way that the propaganda of life that everybody has been putting in our faces to say, okay, get married, have kids, whatever. Not or overlooking or not identifying that that's still a way for the devil to dwell in.
You know, I have to say, so marriage for me, when I think about marriage, right, we have to understand that, first of all, a marriage license, which is different from marriage, but I think a lot of people...
So Cam Newton is out here having Jazzy looking wild and embarrassed once again, and this time, he's not even claiming her. Somebody asked Cam the simplest question in the world. Did you ask Jasmin Brown to be your girlfriend? And the way he responded had people cringing. He was stuttering, stumbling, and fumbling like he just got caught lying in front of the teacher. This man couldn't even claim her as his woman, not even with all the cameras rolling. And that says everything about where they stand.
I think I asked my girl. We just was around each other.
So are you really dating?
Let somebody tell it. Man, y'all ain't even together because y'all ain't met.
No. Are you really dating though?
What do you mean dating?
I mean, you tell me. Are you guys together? Are you guys exclusive? You didn't ask.
Yeah, but even in that realm of saying, hey, I want you to be my girlfriend, or I want you to be my boyfriend, like it was already understood. Shouldn't be.
Was it understood?
I think if you live with a person, like you're.
You know what we're doing a lot of?
What?
Assuming.
And you know what they assume. Yeah, I'm familiar.
We're doing a lot of assuming.
And let's not forget, Jasmin Brown isn't just some girl on the sidelines. She's living with Cam Newton right now, under his roof, and she's pregnant with their second child. That's right, second baby on the way, and he's still acting like he doesn't know how to answer the most basic question. It's messy, it's disrespectful, and it's giving everybody deja vu of every single time Cam finds himself in relationship drama.
All right, y'all, so let's talk about Mr. Man right here. Now, I know every time I see him in his hat on a podcast, some foolery is about to come out of his mouth. Now, first and foremost, nothing was like really wrong with what he said, but the fact that it came from him just made it cringe because, of course, you didn't ask her to be your girlfriend because, for one, you want your options still open, which you made that clear many times. But it was just kind of like he used that opportunity to just like, it's like, I don't know, like he always just be like, when it comes to her, and that really irritates me. But I guess like that ain't my business. But I feel like body language matters, and I feel like that's also why she made that post about how she don't want to raise her son like no one that she's ever dated, or whatever she said, something like that, which is very telling. And we get it, we get it, like. But, you know, I think this was a hard lesson for her because it's always them females that be like, it could never be me. And then, yeah, like, but listen, I don't know, y'all.
The man's legacy in football may be cemented, but when it comes to relationships, his reputation is hanging by a thread. And this right here is beyond embarrassing. It's downright sad. Cam Newton couldn't even bring himself to say a simple yes or no when asked if he's actually dating Jasmin Brown. Instead, he tried to spin it into some nonsense about assuming and living together, like sharing a roof automatically makes it a relationship status. That's not love. That's not commitment. That's a man dodging responsibility in front of the world, and the whole internet caught it instantly. Now let me give you the messy background that makes this whole situation even worse.
Cam Newton really goes to work and embarrasses the fuck out of that girl. He really said, she's not my girlfriend. What's understood is understood. I never asked her to be my girlfriend. I would never ask her to be my girlfriend. But you done gave her 2 babies. If I was Jasmin, I would slap the hat and ascot right off that nigga. Like, god damn. It's so embarrassing. It's so embarrassing.
Cam has been dragging Jasmin through the mud for years, and it's not some secret. This woman has been by his side, and now she's pregnant with his second child. Meanwhile, Cam is out here racking up babies left and right. Jasmin's child will be his 9th overall. And yet he still can't even look into a camera and confidently say, yes, that's my woman. The disrespect is loud. The humiliation is louder. And fans are calling it one of the coldest moves they've seen from him yet.
He wasn't good to begin with, Jasmin. He wasn't good to begin with. Jasmin Brown, I hate to see that this is happening to you. Because baby, it happened to me too. These motherfuckers be telling you. Be up in your ear telling you all the shit. And we be ignoring the red flags, baby. But Jasmin, I was rooting for you. I was rooting for you. But we already knew Cam Newton was not the one. We knew that. And you went with the narrative for some time until I think that you tried to change him in some type of way. He was like, okay, let me try this, let me try that. You know what I'm saying? Got pregnant, then got pregnant again. And now you think he is a no good piece of shit. I think the world kind of knew that when it came to dating. And it's crazy because most of these men, they want to have your babies. They want you to have their babies. They want you to have their generational babies. But baby, that man right there, he told the world what he wanted. And especially when he got on there and he was talking to that dating woman coach. I forget what her name is. But he basically said that he didn't want to get married. And I think that's the thing that you wanted, babe. And you deserve everything. Everything. But what you're getting. Yeah. It's kind of fucked up because men just think that they can do anything that they want to. But we as women got to have some type of accountability. Because you ignored those red flags. Because what he was telling you in the bedroom, I mean... yeah, what he was saying... It sounded good at the moment, but you know what I'm saying? Yeah, it ain't looking too good. So now you're stuck being a baby mom. And I'm sorry, I hate that for you. I hate it for myself too, babe. I hate it for myself. But baby, I just hope that you get through this because we knew that he wasn't. He just wasn't. Go heal, baby. Go heal. I'm here for you. I'm here for you, sister. I got you. I hate it for myself too, babe. I hate it for myself. But baby, I just hope that you get through this because we knew that he wasn't. He just wasn't. Go heal, baby. Go heal. I'm here for you. I'm here for you, sister. I got you.
Now, earlier this year, Cam Newton sat on his own podcast and didn't just slip up. He flat out confessed that he's been cheating on Jasmin the entire time they've been together. He didn't sugarcoat it, didn't even try to play slick. He looked right into that mic and basically said Jasmin was never the only woman in his bed. Can you imagine the audacity?
I'm going to talk about this more, but the biggest goofy in the world gotta be Jasmin Brown. Because y'all remember all them skits she used to do, looking like baps and shit, talking about baby mamas and all type of shit, doing goofy shit. Now she turned into exactly what she was making a joke of. And I'm actually talking about this Cam Newton shit when he basically told that podcast guy, like, oh, I never asked her to be my bitch. I just moved her in. Okay.
He was bragging like it was some kind of badge of honor, instead of realizing he was humiliating the mother of his child in real time. This wasn't a private conversation. This wasn't some rumor whispered by insiders. Cam broadcasted it to the whole world like he was proud of it. On his podcast, he made it crystal clear. As long as Jasmin has been by his side, she has never been the only one. And the way he said it, loud, bold, and with zero remorse. No concern for how she would feel, no ounce of respect for the mother of his children. It was like he wanted to make sure everybody knew he had no intention of being faithful. And Jasmin's heartbreak was just collateral damage to his ego and image. And when folks started checking in on Jasmin after all this public humiliation, instead of holding him accountable, she shocked everybody with her response. She actually said, I know who my man is, and it ain't no secret. Like, girl, what? That's not a win. That's not a clapback. That's you openly admitting you know your man is out here cheating left and right, and you're still choosing to...
If y'all remember, I made that video about Jazz and Cam Newton or whatever last year went viral. Y'all did the thing. Y'all understood where I was coming from. So I saw from Chrissy page that she made a post basically encrypted as hell, but it was basically her and Cam is not together and she's pregnant with their second child. I was like, the second child? She went and had another one. But y'all remember in that interview, she thought she was bigger than the program. I always tell women, when a man to give you a baby before anything else, you don't mean that much to him, love. And that be the sad reality that a lot of women don't like to sit in. So they'll stay with the man through all the public humiliation. After she had that first child and that man went on an interview and said that he was looking for his wife, baby, he wouldn't even been able to talk to me no more. I understand having multiples with a man because I got multiples with the same man. But it damn sure wouldn't have been multiples if that man was disrespecting me after that first child. I wouldn't have thought, okay, well, let me try to have another baby. You already by yourself for one kid. Just take it as a lesson learned in life. You're going to keep going through the same thing and going through the same lesson until you learn what you're supposed to learn, babe. Nothing is going to change. That's insanity, doing the same shit, expecting different results. You have to change how you deal with the situation, or you're going to keep going through that same situation until you learn.
Now, earlier this year, Cam Newton sat on his own podcast and didn't just slip up. He flat out confessed that he's been cheating on Jasmin the entire time they've been together. He didn't sugarcoat it, didn't even try to play slick. He looked right into that mic and basically said Jasmin was never the only woman in his bed. Can you imagine the audacity? He was bragging like it was some kind of badge of honor, instead of realizing he was humiliating the mother of his child in real time. This wasn't a private conversation. This wasn't some rumor whispered by insiders. Cam broadcasted it to the whole world like he was proud of it. On his podcast, he made it crystal clear. As long as Jasmin has been by his side, she has never been the only one. And the way he said it, loud, bold, and with zero remorse. No concern for how she would feel, no ounce of respect for the mother of his children. It was like he wanted to make sure everybody knew he had no intention of being faithful. And Jasmin's heartbreak was just collateral damage to his ego and image. And when folks started checking in on Jasmin after all this public humiliation, instead of holding him accountable, she shocked everybody with her response. She actually said, "I know who my man is, and it ain't no secret." Like, girl, what? That's not a win. That's not a clapback. That's you openly admitting you know your man is out here cheating left and right, and you're still choosing to stand by him. That's not strength. That's settling, and the crowd knew it instantly. The crazy part is, she delivered that line like it was supposed to shut everybody up. But instead, it just made the situation look worse. Because let's be real, saying you know your man when the whole world knows he's disloyal is basically waving a white flag. And if that wasn't enough, Cam himself made it crystal clear on his podcast that marriage is not his endgame with Jasmin. Imagine living with a man, pregnant with his second child, knowing he has kids scattered everywhere. And he still says marriage ain't on the table for you. The disrespect is heavy. And fans are roasting both of them for playing out this toxic mess so publicly. He straight up admitted that his so-called desire to get married is lower than his fear of divorce. Can you believe that nonsense? Basically, Cam Newton wants all the perks of having a woman locked in, living together, raising kids, building a family under one roof, but without ever putting a real commitment on the line. He wants the home-cooked meals, the babies, the loyalty, the image of stability, but he doesn't want to sign his name on anything permanent or binding. And that's the most twisted part. Jasmin is giving him everything a wife gives, yet he's out here making it clear she'll never actually be one. This man has spent years embarrassing her, and it's not even in private. It's always out loud, always in public, and always leaving her to defend herself while he shrugs it off. Over and over again, he's dragged her into situations that make her look small, while he carries on with no shame, no accountability, and no real respect. To many people watching, it looks less like a relationship and more like a man enjoying the benefits of a partner without offering her the dignity she deserves. First, Cam openly says he doesn't want to marry her. Then, he doubles down by admitting he's been cheating the entire time. And now, on top of that, he can't even answer a basic question about whether they're officially together. The pattern is loud and clear. He keeps disrespecting her in new ways, and Jasmin is just left standing there trying to put on a brave face while the world watches. But behind the smiles and the Instagram posts, you can see it. She looks miserable, and everybody knows it deep down. What's even sadder is that Jasmin herself recently admitted something that broke hearts everywhere. She revealed that she's afraid if her second child ends up being a boy, she'll try to mold him into the man she always dreamed of but never actually had. Imagine that, the pain of being let down so badly by the man you love that you start projecting your ideal partner onto your own child. That's not just messy, that's heartbreaking. Because it shows how empty and unsatisfied she feels in her relationship with Cam. It's a cry for help wrapped in a confession. Proof that she's stuck in something that drains her spirit more than it lifts her. And here's where things get even uglier. Because while Jasmin is carrying his child and holding down the home, Cam Newton is still out here playing single in public. People have spotted him in Atlanta and Miami moving like a free agent, taking pictures with different women, smiling ear to ear like he doesn't have a whole pregnant girlfriend waiting at home. The streets are buzzing, because it looks less like a man in a committed relationship and more like somebody living a bachelor lifestyle. Meanwhile, Jasmin's the one left holding all the responsibility, looking like the fool in the equation. And don't forget, this isn't just about Jasmin. Cam's already got a track record of kids by multiple women, and every time the story feels the same. He gets the perks, the attention, the family image when it's convenient, but he never follows through with stability. This isn't a one-time slip-up. This is a pattern that's been playing out for years, and Jasmin just happens to be the latest one caught up in the storm. That's what makes the whole situation so tragic, because she's not blind to what's happening. She knows exactly who he is, yet she's still standing by him, hoping that one day he'll wake up and decide to change. But here's the real kicker. Fans aren't buying it anymore. Social media is tearing Cam apart, calling him selfish, delusional, and even toxic for the way he keeps treating Jasmin. And the worst part, every time Jasmin defends him, people just drag her harder, saying she's choosing humiliation over freedom. It's turned into a circus where she's stuck proving her loyalty, and he's out here proving nothing but disrespect. At this point, it's not just gossip anymore. It's a full-blown cautionary tale about what happens when love blinds you to the obvious red flags, and the whole internet is watching it unfold like a live soap opera. And honestly, it's pathetic. There's no other word for it. Jasmin is sitting there pregnant with baby number 2, showing loyalty, showing commitment, and Cam Newton is out here acting like he doesn't even know if they're together or not. That's not just confusion, that's crazy levels of disrespect. Even if he secretly felt that way, why would you go on record and say it out loud for the whole world to hear? Some things you keep private, but instead Cam keeps choosing to embarrass her publicly, over and over again, as if he doesn't care about the fallout. It's like he gets a thrill out of letting everybody know he refuses to claim her, even though she's literally carrying his child. And it's not just disrespect to Jasmin, it's disrespect to their entire family unit, to the children who will one day grow up and see all this chaos online. What kind of example does that set for them? It paints Cam as someone reckless, selfish, and incapable of understanding what responsibility even means. People expect childish behavior from rookies in the game, not from a grown man with a football legacy and 9 kids to his name. That's why fans are calling this his lowest point yet, and they're not wrong. Cam Newton is 36 years old, y'all, with his 9th child on the way. And somehow, he's still too scared to have a straight-up conversation about his own relationship. That's not growth. That's not wisdom. That's straight-up dysfunction. At this age, you'd expect maturity, clarity, and at least a little accountability. But instead, it's giving very much dismissive, avoidant, and downright careless. He's not acting like a man who's lived, learned, and leveled up. He's acting like somebody stuck in the same cycle from his 20s. And let's be real. Jasmin needs help too, because there's a reason she's still clinging to a man who has shown her time and time again that he is not emotionally available. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Yet Jasmin is holding on like she's waiting for a miracle that's never coming. Cam has proven again and again that he will not change unless he actually gets the help he needs. And deep down, I think she knows it too. But here's the sad truth. By the time this relationship finally crashes and burns, and it will, she'll have wasted years of her life, energy, and love on a man who was never going to give her the security she deserved. The only thing she'll walk away with is heartbreak, more kids to raise, and a painful lesson she should have learned a long time ago. And the internet, they'll just say she ignored the warning signs that were flashing in neon lights from the very beginning. At this point, you'd think Cam Newton would realize how bad all of this looks, but instead, it feels like he's doubling down. The man has all the fame, all the money, and a platform big enough to influence millions. Yet when it comes to relationships, he's moving like he's lost in the dark. And Jasmin? She's stuck playing the role of the ride or die, when really, it looks more like she's the one paying the highest price for his actions. People close to the situation have even started whispering that Jasmin has pulled away from her own dreams and career just to make space for Cam's world. She put her energy into being his support system, his home base, and his family foundation. But instead of honoring that sacrifice, Cam is out here acting detached, treating her like she's optional, while still demanding the benefits that come with having a loyal woman holding him down. That's not just unfair, that's manipulative. And let's not forget the bigger picture. Cam's not just some random dude. He's a former MVP, a public figure, a man who once had the spotlight of the NFL shining on him. Kids look up to him, fans still follow him, and people expect more from someone with that kind of legacy. But here he is, 36 years old, running around dodging questions about his relationship like a teenager afraid to admit who he's texting. It's immature, it's disappointing, and it shows how little he's grown off the field. So while Jasmin continues to hope for the man she thought she signed up for, the world is watching a completely different reality unfold. And trust me, this story isn't ending with a fairy tale. It's heading straight toward heartbreak. Jazzy is not going to walk away from this the same person, that's for sure. This kind of humiliation changes you. It shifts the way you look at yourself, the way you love, and the way you show up for the world. I can almost guarantee you she won't be so quick to jump online making videos talking down on other women and their relationships after this, because now she's the one living in the middle of the chaos. The lesson has officially knocked on her door, and it's loud. But the real question is, how much more can she take? How long can a woman stay quiet, carrying his child, while he beats around the bush, refusing to even claim her as his partner? The fact that Cam Newton can't give a straight answer about whether they're together speaks volumes. And it leaves everybody wondering what's really going on behind those closed doors. Fans see the writing on the wall, and they're just waiting for the day she finally wakes up. But enough about what I think. I want to hear from you. What do you make of Cam dodging the question and refusing to stand by Jasmin? Do you think she'll finally walk away, or will she keep holding on? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown. Don't forget to subscribe for more messy updates, and I'll see you on the next one.
Fans are starting to notice some weird vibes, and they are not loving it. Nelly and Ashanti just tied the knot. They got a baby on the way, and from the outside, it should be a perfect love story. But now, folks are digging up some old Nelly moments that got them raising eyebrows. During a recent sit-down with Extra, Nelly brought up Beyonce.
She's not fucking with me today. I ain't worried about it, because when she want to take them dumbass pictures when we out walking, no sir. I'm not going to do it. And I'm going to save my son. But I love her, though. That's my baby. Babe. Let's go do it on the beach.
You know, Beyonce, it wasn't long ago that me and you was newcomers in this music game. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I just got a question.
What that is?
How you keep your rhyme so tight?
You know, it come like the abs. I just work on it. For sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So that's how you got all the ladies. Say your name.
All right. I hope you can say it. But you know, here are the nominees for the best solo artist.
And people caught that quick. Back in the early 2000s, Nelly apparently had a major crush on her. He even tried to shoot his shot at the 2000 Source Awards. When that didn't land, he didn't back off. He pulled up again, while Destiny's Child was doing an interview and tried to slide in with Popeye's chicken. Now here's the thing. Popeye's just happens to be Beyonce's favorite, so it looked like Nelly was using that to charm her. But let's keep it real. It didn't go the way he planned.
Hey, if it's Nelly, come on out. If it's Nelly, let's see who it is.
That ain't it.
Nelly! Oh my God.
Yeah.
Nelly to walk in with a box of Popeye's chicken.
Is it hot?
Whose favorite is the chicken?
Beyonce loves
It's
it.
your favorite.
I love Popeyes. She loves Popeyes.
Beyonce didn't seem interested at all, and fans are saying it's giving desperate energy. Now that this clip is floating around, people are wondering, why is he even bringing this up now when he's supposed to be in wifey mode with Ashanti? Now fast forward a few years. Nelly finally crosses paths with Ashanti at the Grammys, 3 years after that whole Beyonce situation. During an Access Hollywood interview, the host brings them down memory lane, right back to the very first night they met. But here's where it gets messy. Nelly brings up the 2000 Source Awards again. He doesn't drop Beyonce's name this time, but fans know what he's talking about.
Take you guys back, okay? The moment you met. All right?
Yeah.
So I need to know, Nelly, was this your move, trying to get an autograph?
Well, I mean, that was my first Grammy-nominated artist I was in front of at the time. Like that. So I hadn't tried that move on anybody else. It didn't work at the Source Awards, so I thought I'd try it at the Grammys.
He was clearly referencing that moment when he tried it with Beyonce, and now he's tying it into how he approached Ashanti. Fans are side-eyeing this hard. They're saying it's giving Beyonce was the first choice, Ashanti was the backup energy. The timing, the way he said it, everything about it just feels off. People online are buzzing like, why even bring that up while you're sitting next to your wife? It's got folks rethinking how genuine this whole love story really is. And fans did not hold back. Here's what they had to say. One person wrote, that's exactly what I was thinking. But why would he even bring that up here? Another said, I remember there being tea that he was after her back in the day. Then someone else hit hard with, I'm sorry, but Nelly is so corny for this. People are saying it sounds like he was just desperate for any R&B star to give him the time of day. Since Beyonce curved him hard, it's looking like he just moved on to the next one, Ashanti. And fans aren't buying the love story anymore, no. They're saying it's starting to look more like a Plan B situation. Let's not forget, there was a whole 3-year gap between the time he tried to shoot his shot at Beyonce and when he linked up with Ashanti. Folks are guessing he probably had a few more attempts in between, but the real issue here, bringing up that old moment during an interview with Ashanti sitting right there, that's the part that rubbed people the wrong way. It felt like a low-key confession that Beyonce was really the one he wanted all along. But Nelly has been slipping fast in the eyes of Ashanti's fans, and not just because of the Beyonce stuff. He's been catching heat for a few things lately, like performing at a Trump event, which already had a lot of people giving him the side eye. Then there was that awkward Instagram live moment at the start of May, and fans are still talking about it. Nelly went live from his account, but the timing completely off.
So keep the goddamn blanket on. What the fuck you talking about? You better not get up. Yeah, get up, that's your ass. Yo. Let me see the machine. No. Yo, so look.
You took it
Oh,
out.
shit.
Oh, my God.
Alright, we not going nowhere. Oh, I'm not gonna show you that. Babe.
Hang up.
I don't think this is like really what married people are supposed to do. I don't think you're supposed to like lock the doors on your husband.
Be going live while I'm pumping.
While you pumping? I think that's a very natural thing.
Yeah, natural for me, not for everybody else to see it.
I'm not showing them that you pumping, babe. I'm doing it from the neck up.
End.
Whoa.
Ashanti was in the middle of breast pumping for their baby. Real life, real private. But Nelly kept the camera rolling like it was nothing. She straight up asked him to cut the live off, but he didn't want to end it. So what did she do? She got up, walked away, and locked herself in the bathroom just to have some privacy. While inside, she told him, "Look, this is very private for me. I don't want everybody knowing about this." Fans were not okay with that. They're calling Nelly out for being inconsiderate and putting Ashanti in an uncomfortable position on camera. She asked him straight up to stop recording, but he didn't. And to a lot of people, that just showed he didn't really care about her comfort in that moment.
Okay, y'all. So, first of all, I just got back from the gym, so excuse my edges, they whooped right now. But I've been following this Nelly and Ashanti thing, and it's so funny, like, hearing all y'all different perspectives. Like, these celebrities are not about to listen to you. Like, Ashanti got exactly who she wanted and had a baby by who she wanted to have a baby by. Like, what's the saying? You know, when you make your bed, you lay in it. Like,
now here's the real deal. Nelly might not be falling out with Ashanti herself, but he's definitely losing major points with her fan base. Bit by bit, he's turning into public enemy #1 when it comes to the people who ride for her. Fans are saying his actions lately just aren't sitting right.
I'm gonna say this. Ashanti settled for Nelly. She settled for Nelly because there is absolutely no way that she, Nelly, her mama, or whoever else is gonna sit there and convince me that sis is actually happy being with him, because you're not in a real marriage, or it seems like a real cohesive partnership where both of y'all are doing work in the relationship. In fact, he barely participates in the relationship. He already ran down the rules and explained to her that when she have that baby, I'm not getting up in the middle of the night. I'm not changing Pampers or anything. This is supposed to be your wife. This is her first child. You ain't new to this. She is. And you can't support your wife during postpartum. Make sure she's well rested and getting her rest, because the baby's already going to be attached to her. She's breastfeeding. And you can't get up to check on your child or to change diapers?
But what do you think? Are folks overreacting with the Beyonce comparisons? Or does Nelly really seem out of pocket for bringing that up at all, especially in front of Ashanti?
What's up, y'all? So I just had to hop on here right quick and chime in on this Nelly and Ashanti situation. Sure. I could have seen this not working from a very long time ago. Mind you, Ashanti's a Libra and Nelly being a Scorpio. I don't think that Libras need to be with water signs, period. Libras and water signs don't mix at all. I will always and forever believe that Nelly only got back with Ashanti for clout. For clout. That's what it was for. Cause wasn't nobody worried about Nelly, and he was not a topic of discussion before him and Ashanti became an item again. Wasn't nobody worried about Nelly. But baby, the way Nelly sat across from that table and told Ashanti what he was gonna do, regardless of how she felt. It could have been me. It could have been me. Baby, that'd have been Love and Hip Hop all over again, because baby, I'd have flew across that damn table on Nelly ass.
Still being on the road, we both agreed that being up here probably would be the best thing, since our whole support system is up here.
Mad as hell. She mad as hell. Look at her face. She mad as hell.
I made it very clear, even before KK, before the I do's, before everything, how I felt. My business in St. Louis,
she mad as hell.
What I do, my vibe, my connections, and
she said we're gonna live in New York.
Setting up shop like that in New York.
Is this whole vibe starting to feel off to you? Do you think this couple has what it takes to go the distance? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because people are talking, and this drama doesn't look like it's slowing down anytime soon. If you enjoyed the video, smash that like button and hit subscribe so you never miss a moment. Catch you in the next one.
Wow. Pick-me's are women who try to do everything right just so a man can choose me. Yeah, cut that shit out. Cause I'm gonna keep it real with you. Men already know what they want in a woman and who they want. But if you're so nurturing and you're an asset and it's not you, they'll never tell you to stop doing what you're doing because it's beneficial. And I don't want to hear none of that shit like, oh, I'm just a nice person. I'm genuinely like that. Well, bitch, you gonna genuinely get played. No, it's just that I'm just naturally like that. Like the shit I do for him is natural. And your natural ass is gonna get played. If you are making a man's life easier, i.e. cooking, cleaning, providing pussy whenever he wants, and he's giving you the minimum, he's never going to do more. And he's never gonna tell you to stop because it's beneficial to him. No history in niggerdom ever has a man been like, oh, stop doing all this stuff. Stop making my life easier. I don't look at you like that. Hell no, they gonna kick their motherfucking feet up and enjoy these perks without doing no work.
Listen up, because Jasmin Brown just lit up the timeline and everybody's talking about it. She dropped some posts that got people throwing side eyes left and right, and the comment section has been on fire ever since. For those who aren't caught up, Jasmin is with Cam Newton. Yes, the Cam Newton. And she's already had his 9th child. On top of that, she's pregnant again right now, carrying his 2nd baby with her, which only turned the spotlight up even brighter.
What does a submissive woman do for her man? Submissive woman do for her man?
Everything.
What does that mean?
You know, like packing his bag, unpacking his bag, just making sure all the things that he wants. And like, I pretty much read his mind. So it's like, if I know you and I study you, like I know how you are in the morning, I know how you are about midday, I know when you're in this mood, what you need. Like before you can ever ask me for something, I'm already on it. I mean, he's spoiled. Boy, it is my joy. You know, I love to see him eating the meal that I cook. I love seeing him sleep easy. Every night, like clockwork, I scratch this man's back to sleep. And I know when he's asleep because I can tell when his breathing changes. And some people might think that's psychotic, but that's like, I just know that's when I'm like, oh, I can stop now. But I find joy in being your rest.
Do you see yourself marrying her?
To your point,
Yeah.
marriage
Yes.
is not the ultimate goal for me.
Yes.
I do want to get married.
Well, that's good.
I do, but listen, so the thing about that word of, well, marry the girl, I'm not saying that to you directly. I'm
Right.
saying that to the people who see this and their response. We're so trauma bond by this thought of get married, have kids.
Yeah.
That's the way that the propaganda of life that everybody has been putting in our faces to say, okay, get married, have kids, whatever. Not or overlooking or not identifying that that's still a way for the devil to dwell in.
You know, I have to say, so marriage for me, when I think about marriage, right, we have to understand that, first of all, a marriage license, which is different from marriage, but I think a lot of people.
But here's where things took a wild turn. Jasmin opened up online and admitted she'd feel nervous if she ended up having a son. The way she worded it sent shockwaves across social media because people instantly started dissecting her reasoning, dragging up old interviews and speculating about what she really meant behind those words. It wasn't just a random post. It came off personal emotional, and a little bit raw. And you already know fans weren't gonna let that slide without a reaction.
Get straight into the shit, because I'm gonna tell you like this. Ladies, stop letting that man spin the block on you. Stop letting him do it. Why? Why didn't you take it back every time? Well, he said this time was gonna be different. He said that he ready for commitment. He said anything he need to say to keep getting that. How are you supposed to find your husband and your soulmate if you keep letting little Dusty, little Raggedy spin the block on you? Spin the block, tear your walls down, go ghost, come back again, spin the block again. He just can't get enough of your dumb ass. That's what he can't get enough of. You just being dumb enough to take it back. I'm not trying to call you stupid because we've all been there. Lord knows I done been there too. But what it just
He not right for you, sis. Come on, man. What we doing, dog? Yeah, but we just have a connection. And you keep letting it in again and again and again. Come on, man. How are we in the month of October, going into November, then December, then January, and he gonna spin a block again on you after he get what he want, go ghost, and then come back again, and you keep letting it back again?
She revealed that the idea of having a boy honestly scares her, because deep down, she feels like she'd try to raise him into the kind of perfect man she never actually had in her own life.
I really do not like how the internet tries to make it seem like Watch Jazzy, Jasmin Brown, Cam Newton's mother of his children, y'all be acting like she's the biggest dummy on the internet, and I don't like it. Because when Jada Waiter said she would rather cry in a rape than an Altima, it was T. When Lil Durk proposed to India, it was couples goals. When Ari and Moneybag Yo, he cheat on her all the time, it's cool. G Herbo and Hyena, it's cool. I feel like you should just say y'all don't like Cam Newton. Like he's not your type. Like he's not the type that you would let cheat on you. That's what you should say. Because when all the other girls is getting cheated on by they rapper / athlete / they're not the biggest dummy in the world, and every time they post, y'all not at their neck. So why are y'all doing my girl like that? I'm just asking a question. Somebody let me know.
Jasmin laid it all out, admitting that if she was blessed with a son, she'd be so nervous since she knows she'd subconsciously mold him into the man she could only dream of, but never truly experienced. And she even called that realization traumatic.
So I was on IG when I came across a post from the Shade Room, and they were talking about Jasmin Brown, comedian Jasmin Brown, that's Cam Newton's baby mama. Well, of course, we know that she's pregnant again by him. And she was kind of transparent post on the thought of possibly having a boy, which I'm assuming she doesn't know the sex of the baby, gives me anxiety. And, you know, people was like going in on her, like, you knew the type of man you was dealing with, same old shit. But I say that to say, I understood what she was talking about, because when I was pregnant with Sugar Mama, when I found out that she was a girl, my anxiety level just went through the roof. And it went through the roof because my biggest fear was being the same person that birthed me. And I refused to be that person to her. So I understand where she's coming from. Like, I understand what she meant. But at the same time, like, girl, why did you have another baby? Like, that's stupid.
Now, Jazz, you did not need to say any of this. You could have kept this to yourself. Because first of all, you're still going to stay with Cam Newton. And second of all, people Ben warned you about him before you even got pregnant. You didn't want to hear what we had to say. You got pregnant by him anyway. And then people was telling you about him some more. And he said he was still looking for his future wife and all this other stuff. And then you decided to get pregnant by him again. And he kept embarrassing you. And he has a lot of kids already. So you've been warned multiple times, warning you about getting away from this nigga and warning you to not get pregnant by him. But you decide to do that anyway, so I don't feel sorry for you, because you continue to get pregnant by this man. You continue to be with him, so I don't feel sorry for you. And you used to make jokes about a situation like this, and now you're in this situation, so I don't feel sorry for you whatsoever. Because like I said, you was warned multiple times by a lot of people. You know, you need to get away from this nigga. He got a lot of kids, and you decided to get pregnant by him over and over and over again. So this is on you. We don't want to hear it. You could have kept this to yourself.
To make things even more intense, she added that people won't stop wishing a son on her, almost like the pressure is nonstop and weighing heavy on her shoulders. She explained how people won't stop telling her that there's no love like the love from a son. But instead of feeling reassured, those words make her spiral with anxiety. Jasmin confessed that hearing that over and over doesn't bring her peace. It actually makes her question what exactly folks mean by that and why it's said like some universal truth that she's supposed to accept. The pressure behind those comments hit her heavy, like she's being pushed to want a boy when all she really cares about is the health of her baby. That's why she quickly shifted the focus back to what truly matters to her: a safe and healthy pregnancy, a smooth labor, and bringing a strong, healthy baby into the world, whether it's a boy or a girl. She stressed that her prayer isn't about gender. It's about survival, safety, and peace for her and her child. But underneath that, Jasmin also revealed the deeper fear that's been eating at her. She admitted that if she does end up having a son, she worries she'll unconsciously try to raise him into the fantasy version of the man she always wished for, but never experienced in real life. That raw honesty hit the internet hard. because some praised her for opening up while others dragged her, saying she exposed too much of her own heartbreak and hidden wounds, but never experienced herself. And let's be real, Cam Newton's track record with women is far from clean, and the receipts are out there for everyone to see. Over the years, his name has been tied to drama after drama, from cheating rumors to messy breakups, and people have been quick to point out that loyalty, consistency, and emotional maturity don't exactly sit at the top of his resume. Knowing that, it's not a stretch to believe Jasmin might not be getting the steady love, respect, and genuine commitment that she really wants and needs from him, especially while carrying his child. So when she opened up about her fears, it hit different. Jasmin admitted she's scared that if she does have a son, she might end up molding him into being everything she's never truly had from a partner. She's afraid she'll subconsciously try to turn her boy into the perfect version of loyalty, emotional support, and respect because she hasn't experienced that in her own reality. That confession is raw and powerful, but it also shines a spotlight on her relationship with Cam in a way that makes fans wonder if she's low-key, revealing cracks that run way deeper than anyone expected. Cam Newton clearly isn't that man for her. And that's what makes this whole situation sting even harder. If you read between the lines, Jasmin is basically confessing that her relationship isn't giving her the satisfaction, love, or emotional safety she craves. And here's where it gets heavy. She's already thinking about how a potential son could end up filling that void in her life. That's not just sad, that's deep, because it shows she feels like she has no other outlet for that kind of love and respect she's been missing. The thought of leaning on her child for the type of connection she never got from her partner hits a nerve with a lot of people, because no child should have to carry that kind of unspoken expectation. What makes it even more jaw-dropping is that Jasmin didn't try to sugarcoat her feelings. She went straight to the core of her truth, posting it for the world to see. And that's why social media went wild. For years, she has presented herself as Cam Newton's ride or die, standing next to him publicly, brushing off the rumors about his wandering eye and messy track record. But now, through her own words, she's exposing cracks that show maybe she's been covering up way more pain than anyone realized. That's not just a confession. That's Jasmin letting the mask slip in real time, and people can't stop dissecting it. Once Jasmin's words started circulating, the dragging online turned vicious, and the internet had no mercy for her. Fans filled the comments with shade, saying she was out here defending a man who clearly doesn't claim her the way she deserves. Some even wrote things like, "Girl, Cam embarrasses you every chance he gets and you still stick beside him," while others mocked her confession, calling it proof that she was raising a fantasy family in her head instead of facing reality. The tone was brutal, and every comment only seemed to make the situation look worse for her. Twitter threads started popping off, with users clowning the fact that she admitted she'd want to mold her son into the kind of man Cam never was for her. One viral post read, "She's not praying for a son, she's praying for her dream man in baby form," and it racked up thousands of likes. Others accused her of oversharing and warned her that putting her business out like that would only give people more ammo to use against her. The general vibe online? That Jasmin was exposing her heartbreak to millions while still standing behind a man who keeps dragging her name through the mud. And to fans, that mix of pain, denial, and loyalty was both sad and shocking. One fan cut straight to the point, and their comment went viral almost instantly. They wrote that what Jasmin was really saying is, she wants to raise her son to be nothing like the man she chose as her partner. The post read like a reality check. Raise him to be a man, not your man. Don't let your misfortune in love turn into a burden for your child to carry. That single statement hit thousands of shares and likes because it summed up the harsh truth in a way that people couldn't ignore. The commenter didn't stop there either. They highlighted the irony of Jasmin being pregnant with Cam Newton's 9th child, her second child with him, while at the same time confessing she'd want to raise a boy into the type of man she's never actually had. To a lot of fans, that sounded like she was calling out Cam without actually saying his name, which made the whole thing even messier. It painted the picture of a woman caught between loyalty to her man and disappointment in him, spilling her pain online in a way that instantly became everybody's business. And for the internet, that contradiction was too big to ignore. People ran with it, dissected it, and turned it into a bigger conversation about love, choices, and the weight of generational cycles. It's wild to admit, but plenty of people pointed out that some mothers end up treating their sons like their stand-in partners. And that's exactly the type of dynamic Jasmin seemed to be hinting at in her posts. The comment sections were flooded with people saying, this is a dangerous cycle, one that blurs lines and puts unfair weight on a child before they're even born. And while those points hit hard, the sympathy for Jasmin was almost non-existent. Instead, fans pulled up her old videos and interviews where she constantly talked about how women are stupid for letting a man play them, and how she would never let herself get caught up in that kind of situation. Now here she is, standing in the same shoes she used to clown other women for wearing, and the internet wasted no time calling her out. That's why the dragging felt so intense. It wasn't just about what she said now. It was about the fact that she became the very woman she swore she'd never be. And you already know how people love to throw out that old saying, don't ever say what you won't do, because the moment you run your mouth, life will make sure you're the first one to end up doing it. For Jasmine, that saying has never felt more true. And the internet isn't letting her forget it. That's Jasmine's reality right now. She has officially become the woman she used to criticize. And the irony isn't lost on anybody. The same energy she once had for calling out other women has now come full circle, and it's sitting right on her doorstep. When you read that post carefully, it feels less like a confident statement and more like a cry for help. Like she's admitting her pain without fully saying the words. It's raw, it's emotional, and it shows that deep down she knows her situation with Cam Newton isn't what she wants it to be. But here's the thing. No matter how many hints she drops, the truth is, she's not going anywhere. At least not right now. Jasmine has already invested years into Cam, built a family with him, and tied her name to his in ways that aren't easy to just walk away from. If she ever does decide to leave, it won't be overnight. It'll take time. It'll take countless breaking points, and it'll take a whole lot more than one emotional post on social media. Until then, she's going to keep riding this roller coaster. And the sad part is, everybody watching knows it. The internet sees her trapped in the same cycle she once warned others about. And the longer she stays, the harder it will be for her to break free. At this point, it feels like the only way this relationship would actually end is if Cam Newton himself decided to walk away, because Jasmine looks way too deep in it to make that move on her own. She's already tied to him forever through their children. One she's raising now, and another one currently on the way. And that's the kind of bond that makes letting go even harder. For her, it's not just about love anymore. It's about time, energy, and sacrifices that she's already poured into it. And it seems like she feels she's gone too far to just throw it all away. But when you look at the bigger picture, it's clear she's given way more than Cam ever has. Jasmine's emotions are out in the open. Her loyalty is undeniable, and her struggles are written all over social media, while Cam has made it clear through his actions that faithfulness isn't something he's prioritizing. He hasn't hidden the fact that he's been far from committed, and that imbalance makes it obvious. She's clinging to him way tighter than he's holding on to her. And that's exactly why fans think Cam has all the power here. Because Jasmine is in too deep to walk away without him making that choice first. And let's not forget, this isn't Cam Newton's first rodeo when it comes to messy relationships and kids. He already has multiple children with different women. And the stories surrounding those situations haven't exactly been picture perfect either. Over the years, there have been whispers of tension, public fallouts, and women airing out how difficult it was to co-parent with him. That reputation follows him everywhere. And fans haven't let Jasmine forget that she knowingly stepped into a situation with a man whose history was already full of red flags. What makes it even more complicated is the way people compare Jasmine to the other mothers of Cam's kids. They point out that the same issues seem to repeat themselves: lack of loyalty, lack of stability, and Cam making it clear that he isn't built for long-term commitment. So when Jasmine posts about her fears and anxieties, the internet immediately ties it back to his past, saying she should have seen this storm coming before she ever got involved. That's why fans feel like her emotional turmoil isn't just about this current pregnancy. It's about her realizing she's fallen into the exact same cycle that so many before her went through with Cam. And instead of learning from those situations, she's now living one of her own, with the weight of the world watching and judging every move. So where does this leave Jasmin Brown and Cam Newton? Fans are already predicting how the next chapter of their relationship is going to play out. And let's just say, the outlook isn't pretty. Some believe Jasmine will keep writing for Cam no matter how bad things get, pointing out that she's too emotionally and physically invested to walk away anytime soon. Others are convinced the cycle will repeat itself, just like it did with his other relationships, and that sooner or later, Cam will be the one to pull the plug while Jasmine is left picking up the pieces. But one thing is for sure. Jasmine's own words have cracked the facade wide open. She went from clowning other women for staying with men who mistreated them to being in the very same situation herself. And the internet won't let her escape that contradiction. Every post she makes now is under a microscope, and every slip of honesty only fuels more debate about whether she's strong enough to leave or too deep in to ever walk away. At the end of the day, this isn't just gossip. It's a front row seat to a woman grappling with love, loyalty, and the weight of her choices while the whole world watches. And if this really is Jasmine's cry for help, the sad truth is that unless something changes, she may be stuck in this storm for a very long time. But what do you think? Is Jasmine brave for opening up? Or is she exposing too much while still standing by a man who refuses to change? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.
The streets of social media are buzzing louder than ever with a rumor so wild it could shake the entire foundation of pop royalty. Word is spreading that Beyoncé is devastated after court papers allegedly confirmed that Kelly Rowland's son, Titan, isn't who the world believed him to be. The whispers claim he's actually the biological child of Jay-Z. If that's true, this isn't just some messy family drama. It's a betrayal so explosive it could tear everything apart.
Beyoncé for sure. I love her. I love Beyonce. Jay-Z too, I really admire the both of them.
We're talking about friendships that started back in childhood crumbling to dust, the very roots of Destiny's Child unraveling, and even Beyonce's flawless image as untouchable, unshakable, and above it all getting dragged right into the mud.
Educated gangster rapper, that's all she could come up.
This isn't just gossip. This is the kind of bombshell that could rewrite 2 decades of music history, rewrite love stories we thought were set in stone, and test public devotion with one jaw-dropping twist. Picture the fallout for Beyoncé, the woman who built her empire on loyalty, strength, and absolute control. She's weathered Jay-Z's publicized affairs, sat through his messy confessions, and still managed to stand tall like nothing could break her crown. But this? The idea that her best friend, her sister for life, secretly carried a child that belongs to her husband? That's not just scandal. That's devastation on a whole different level.
I know so much on how you got where you are, how you stepped on many people.
Insiders whisper that Beyoncé is spiraling in private, feeling the walls of her carefully guarded kingdom closing in. Court documents, the kind that were never supposed to see daylight, reportedly surfaced and lit the match. The moment screenshots and snippets leaked online, the internet erupted, feeding speculation like gasoline on an inferno that refuses to die out. Titan's parentage is being painted as the family's darkest, most dangerous secret. And whether it's real or just rumor, the fallout is already brutal.
Beyonce.
Gorgeous, a stab to my self-esteem.
The suggestion alone slices right through Beyoncé's carefully polished image, the one she spent decades crafting to look flawless, loyal, and above suspicion. The internet wasted no time digging for receipts, and suddenly the so-called evidence was everywhere. Side-by-side photos of Titan and Jay-Z started spreading like wildfire, plastered with captions screaming that the similarities are undeniable.
I want to ask you about Jay-Z's album. I think it's genius. Like all of his projects, I thought it was really great.
The jawline, the nose, even those subtle smirks that mirror Jay-Z's younger pictures, fans swear it's all right there in plain sight. Some are convinced the resemblance is way too strong to dismiss. Of course, others argue it's just coincidence, but that hasn't slowed the frenzy. The debate has gone viral with timelines and comment sections blowing up nonstop. We've seen this pattern before.
Weirdo. I don't get no what you got in your head, that neural link. You'll never outthink me. Ever.
Once the public decides a lookalike is proof of the unthinkable, it's almost impossible to shove that genie back into the bottle. And for Beyoncé, who has built her world around perfect control, every image, every photo, every angle released with precision, seeing her husband's face mirrored in her best friend's son isn't just messy. It's a narrative she can't control, one that's pouring gasoline on an already raging storm. Fans are digging deep into Kelly Rowland's 2013 track Dirty Laundry, and suddenly it doesn't just sound like a raw confession anymore, it feels like a smoking gun. Back then, the song was praised for its honesty, its chilling confessions of abuse and struggle, but now, listeners are dissecting every lyric with a new perspective, convinced Kelly was spilling tea about a secret love triangle the whole time. Lines about betrayal, manipulation, and truths being buried in plain sight are now being read as coded messages. Was Kelly venting her heartbreak through music, cleverly disguising it as metaphor so no one would dare connect the dots? Did the world overlook the real meaning because the truth was simply too outrageous to accept? Insiders remind us that artists often lace their reality into their work, and in this case, the resurfacing of Dirty Laundry feels less like art and more like breadcrumbs she never expected anyone to follow. Until now. And then comes the money trail. Rumors are swirling that Jay-Z has been quietly sending payments to Kelly's family since 2014, the very year Titan was born. If true, that's not generosity, that's hush money. And suddenly, the whole story takes on an even darker edge. That money detail has exploded across the internet, sending fans into a frenzy. People are asking, were those payments just generous Godfather gestures? Or were they calculated hush funds meant to bury a truth too dangerous to expose? The timing alone raises every eyebrow. If Jay-Z was quietly sending regular sums, how much did Beyoncé really know? Was she complicit in the silence, protecting the dynasty at all costs? Or was this betrayal playing out right under her nose? For nearly a decade, Queen Bee has reigned as the most in-control figure in music. Untouchable, unshakable, the woman who sees everything. The thought of her being blindsided in her own home feels almost impossible. And yet, that's exactly why this rumor hits so hard. It feeds into the nightmare that even the strongest empire can crumble from the inside. And this supposed revelation doesn't live in isolation. Jay-Z's track record is filled with messy entanglements and skeletons that never fully stayed buried. He's admitted to stepping out on Beyoncé before, famously using his own music as therapy when their marriage nearly collapsed. Entire albums, hers and his, were crafted from confession, forgiveness, and recovery. And now fans are wondering, was the truth about Titan always lurking in those lyrics too? But if Titan truly is Jay-Z's son, the whole narrative flips from one of marital survival to something much darker, a years-long deception not only against Beyoncé, but against the very woman she has always called her sister. How do you ever recover from a betrayal that deep? This isn't just about a marriage hanging in the balance, this is about an entire legacy being poisoned. We're talking about the destruction of Destiny's Child's foundation, a sisterhood the world believed was built on loyalty, love, and unshakable unity. For fans who grew up idolizing that bond, the thought that every smile, every embrace on stage might have been hiding a devastating secret feels like a gut punch. Suddenly, memories that once looked pure now feel staged, rehearsed, even haunting. People are even digging up old interviews with Kelly, replaying moments like the time she reportedly left a dinner with Beyoncé and Jay-Z in tears. Back then, it was brushed off with no explanation. But now, that silence feels loaded with meaning. Back then, fans brushed it off as nothing more than overwhelming emotions, the nostalgia of a lifelong bond. But in today's climate, that same moment is being recast as a crack in the polished facade, a glimpse of secrets too heavy for Kelly to carry. Now, every cryptic glance, every awkward red carpet run-in with Jay-Z is being dissected like hidden clues in a mystery novel. Take the viral clip of Jay-Z's stunned reaction when he bumped into Kelly at that premiere. Did that look really radiate sibling warmth? Or was it the jarring face of a man forced to confront someone tied to a truth he's fought to keep buried? And then comes the cruel twist of irony. Just a few months ago, Kelly was out in public praising Jay-Z after he blasted the Grammys for snubbing Beyoncé. She told reporters, "Sean Carter is one of the greatest men I know, and his words ring so loud to me." At the time, it sounded like pure admiration. But now, that same quote is being replayed with a sinister undertone. Was Kelly covering for him, protecting him, or was she simply clinging to loyalty in a world that was already crumbling behind closed doors? Kelly had no idea that her words of praise would one day echo back like a curse in a scandal she never asked to be part of. But the internet doesn't let coincidences slip by, not for a second. That quote has been snatched up and repurposed as another receipt, fueling endless theories about just how deep these bonds and betrayals might run. And if the rumors about Jay-Z funneling secret payments since Titan's birth are true, then the spotlight swings right back to Beyoncé. The real question is, has she known all along? Has she been quietly carrying this storm on her shoulders, protecting her brand, her children, her empire at all costs? Or is she discovering the betrayal the same way the rest of us are, through whispers, leaks, and screenshots spreading like wildfire? Either scenario is devastating. If Beyoncé knew, then every public smile, every handhold, every flawless family photo was a performance even more intricate than her most iconic tour choreography. A masterclass in illusion while privately enduring a knife to the heart. But if she didn't know, then Beyoncé, the woman who has become the global symbol of control, discipline, and dominance, has been blindsided in the most personal, humiliating way possible. And the silence, the lack of a single statement from anyone involved, it only thickens the tension. Fans are left wondering, what happens to Destiny's Child if this rumor refuses to die? Their legendary image as sisters against the world is already splintering under the weight of speculation. Beyoncé, Kelly, and Michelle sold the world a sisterhood, a brand built on friendship, loyalty, and a bond that outlasted chart wars and solo dreams. But if Jay-Z is truly tied to Titan, that nostalgia will never feel the same again. The image of Destiny's Child as untouchable role models suddenly cracks, leaving fans to wonder if the storybook sisterhood was really just a glossy cover hiding messy betrayals behind the scenes. And for Beyoncé, this scandal isn't just about music anymore. It's about her legacy, her marriage, her motherhood, and whether the empire she's built brick by brick can survive secrets that feel far too massive to bury. This isn't just about hits and accolades, it's about whether pop royalty can withstand a storm that threatens its very throne. And when you zoom out from the chaos of Titan's rumored paternity, a much darker pattern starts taking shape. Fans and critics alike are suddenly re-examining Jay-Z's past, because he's never been a stranger to whispers of secret children and hidden affairs that refuse to stay buried. The question on everyone's lips is blunt but heavy. Is this scandal just one chapter in a long-running pattern of control, secrecy, and manipulation that the industry has conveniently ignored because of Jay-Z's Jay-Z's unmatched power? We can't forget the public's trust in Jay-Z has been rattled before. His own lyrics spilled confessions of infidelity, moments where he admitted he nearly lost Beyoncé for good. That saga, immortalized across Lemonade and 444, was packaged as a redemption arc, a broken man owning up to his sins and a strong woman choosing forgiveness over destruction. But if Titan really is his son, that redemption arc collapses instantly. The story was never about healing. It was about hiding. And that's what fans are starting to believe. Jay-Z's pattern isn't growth, it's strategy. He hasn't been learning from mistakes, he's been mastering the art of burying them until the headlines move on. Every resurfaced rumor, every whisper dragged back from the past deepens the cracks in his king-like image. What once looked like power and poise now feels like smoke and mirrors, a dynasty held together by secrets instead of strength. And this brings us straight to Beyoncé's family, because when the silence is this loud, there's usually someone behind the curtain working overtime to keep the empire from collapsing. Enter Tina Knowles, long hailed as the true matriarch, not just of Beyoncé's life, but of Destiny's Child as a whole. For decades, Tina has called Kelly Rowland her daughter, written glowing tributes about her, and positioned herself as the glue binding this surrogate family together. But in the glare of the Titan scandal, fans are now questioning her role with a sharper eye. Could she have known more than she ever let on? Did her fierce instinct to protect Beyoncé's empire push her to shield Jay-Z from scrutiny? And in the process, pressure Kelly into silence? This wouldn't be the first time a powerful matriarch quietly orchestrated damage control behind the scenes. Suddenly, every polished family photo, every glowing tribute, every motherly gesture feels layered with suspicion. Was it love? Or was it strategy? And now the question lingers like smoke. Has Tina been the quiet architect of the Carter Knowles image all along, managing not only Beyoncé's career, but also the inconvenient truths threatening to shatter it? We've all seen Tina fiercely defend Beyoncé against critics while showering Jay-Z with glowing praise. For years, that loyalty was framed as love, as family pride, but now the internet is twisting it into something far more calculated. Strategy! Think about it. If Tina knew Titan's secret, then keeping the family brand pristine would demand absolute silence, no matter the cost. For Beyoncé, being betrayed by her husband would be shattering enough, but add the possibility of her own mother's complicity, that takes this scandal from a marital betrayal into a generational one. Suddenly, it's not just about a husband stepping out, it's about the entire Carter Knowles dynasty allegedly protecting a truth so explosive, it could have blown their empire apart years ago. And the whispers don't stop there. Jay-Z's name has long hovered in the orbit of controversy, especially through his ties to Sean Diddy Combs. With lawsuits, exposés, and allegations swirling around that circle, every fresh headline drags Jay-Z's name to the edge, sometimes mentioned directly, sometimes scrubbed from filings at the last minute. To fans, that pattern doesn't look like coincidence, it looks like protection. And in this climate, even silence feels like an admission. Fans can't help but point out the pattern. Jay-Z always seems to hover on the edges of chaos, yet somehow avoids being dragged into the dead center. Whether it's slick legal maneuvering, backroom deals, or just raw influence, the result never changes. His name gets cleared, his empire stays untouchable, and the whispers eventually move on. But this Titan rumor, it refuses to die down. Instead, it's forcing the world to connect dots across decades of scandals that once looked unrelated but now feel like pieces of a much bigger puzzle. So the real question isn't just whether Titan is Jay-Z's child, the question is whether this entire pattern exposes a blueprint, one he's been perfecting for years, to dodge consequences time and time again. A masterclass in survival at any cost. Beyoncé, on the other hand, has always played a completely different game. Silence has been her sharpest weapon. She doesn't sit down for messy interviews, she doesn't rant online, and she rarely gives the world explanations. Instead, she speaks in code through her art, lacing her albums with hidden messages that fans spend months decoding. Lemonade was her way of ripping into infidelity without ever needing to say Jay-Z's name in a single interview. Proof that she knows how to fight battles without uttering a word. And now the burning question everyone's waiting on. Will Beyoncé break her silence and address Titan in her next project, or will she double down and refuse to validate the scandal with even a single word? The world is on edge, waiting to see if her upcoming film ventures, new music, or even her carefully staged public appearances will carry coded messages about betrayal, fractured sisterhood, or motherhood under fire. If history tells us anything, Beyoncé won't sit at a microphone and spell it out. That's not her style. She'll drip-feed the world symbolism, images, lyrics, and subtle choices that force fans to decode the pain she refuses to speak aloud. That's how she handled infidelity with Lemonade, turning personal wounds into art without ever mentioning Jay-Z's name. But this time, the stakes are so much higher. Her entire legacy rests not just on her talent, but on her image. The flawless queen, the untouchable icon, the woman who endured betrayal and came out stronger than before. The friend who lifted Kelly Rowland and Michelle Williams on her shoulders, presenting Destiny's Child as unbreakable sisterhood. But if Titan truly is Jay-Z's son, all of that mythology crumbles in one blow. She's no longer the woman in control. She's the woman betrayed not just by her husband, but possibly by her best friend and even her own mother. And for an empire that has been marketed to the world as perfect, the illusion of perfection itself may be the hardest thing to repair. Because once the public sees cracks in a crown, no amount of shine can ever hide them again. Fans are already convinced that if Beyoncé does respond, it won't be subtle, it'll be seismic. Picture it, a visual album dripping with cryptic symbolism, a lyric slipped like a dagger into a live performance, or even a sudden chilling shift in how she publicly aligns herself with Jay-Z. Remember, Lemonade didn't just give us music, it gave us an earthquake of cultural moments, viral catchphrases, timeless memes, and a global movement of women re-examining their own relationships. Now imagine the impact if Beyoncé decided to channel that same energy toward betrayal within her own inner circle. The cultural explosion would be unmatched, shaking not just the music industry, but the very foundations of celebrity loyalty, sisterhood, and image management. Suddenly, it's not just an album, it's a reckoning. Right now, we're left with a storm of speculation, a mountain of unanswered questions, and an empire visibly wobbling on its throne. If Titan's paternity truly traces back to Jay-Z, then the Carter-Knowles dynasty is staring down its biggest test yet. Can Beyoncé ever forgive a betrayal this layered? Can Destiny's Child still be remembered as a story of sisterhood, or will history rewrite them as a trio built on secrets and silence? And the most haunting question of all, how long has this truth been hiding in plain sight? And who in their tight-knit inner circle helped bury it for so long? So I'll leave it to you. Do you believe this is the scandal that finally cracks Beyoncé's empire wide open? Or is it just another rumor that will be swallowed by silence, spectacle, and the power of branding? Drop your thoughts in the comments because this storm is far from over. Until next time, stay sharp, stay curious, and never forget. Sometimes the biggest secrets are the ones staring us dead in the face.
Now we gotta get down to business, Mr. Common. I'm a host, and so I have to ask you this question, because everybody always wanna know this. Are you dating anyone?
So, yes, and I'm in a relationship that is one of the most beautiful people I ever met in life. And she's smart, she loves God, she has something real down to earth about her. She's talented, but I set my standard kind of high because she had to have an EGOT. She had to win an Oscar on her first movie. I set my standard high. She had to get her own talk show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Did Common just get caught red-handed stepping out on Jennifer Hudson? Because Tiffany Haddish sure seems to think so. And she's been throwing shade at Jennifer like it's her full-time job. Everybody knows Tiffany's still salty about Common leaving her for J. Hud. And now it looks like she's finally plotting her revenge in plain sight, letting little jabs fly every chance she gets.
Girl, he never gave me no damn earrings. He probably gave us to Jennifer.
He's got one of the small in hip-hop. And you know that to be true, Lonnie. So you gotta be a plan. Because all of these ain't wanting you for your cause ain't none there. And before you go and say she lying again, guess what? Tiffany said it ain't grown none in 20 years either. And I know she's seen it. And if you keep running around Hollywood asking people not to with Tiffany, I'ma start telling people that maybe it's time for me to put in my own lawsuit. Cause you did stick your in my mouth while I was asleep with my clothes on. Maybe it's time to sue you.
The word on the street? Folks been warning Jennifer that Common isn't the sweet, smooth talker she thought he was. He's got a whole trail of broken hearts and side-eye stories in his past. Now whispers say he's already parading a brand new woman around like he doesn't have a care in the world, and Jennifer's out here spiraling, showing up in public looking tense, like she's living through the pilot episode of a messy reality TV show we didn't even know was filming. And guess who's sitting back, sipping her tea, and loving every second of this? Tiffany Haddish. Talk about a bitter ex. She ain't even trying to hide the smirk on her face. Every little slip-up Jennifer makes, Tiffany's right there, sliding in with shade so slick you almost miss it. And now the million-dollar questions are flying.
Jenny Jen still kicking it. That's part one. And part two is, do you ever see yourself married one day?
So as far as Jenny Jen.
Jenny Jen.
Jenny Jen.
I love Jenny.
Absolutely, we are together, and I just appreciate her as a partner, as a woman, as an artist, as a human being. She's a special individual, and man, it's just I'm just grateful for it. I thank God, and yes, we are good. Marriage is something that if I were to get married, then Jennifer is the person.
Oh, she the prototype?
She is but she's not only the prototype, she is the person.
Yeah.
But that being said, you know, it's one of those things where I'm like always looking at my life and saying, okay, because that's a strong choice to make, you know. And,
Absolutely.
And
not to be taken lightly.
Almost. Why on earth would Common cheat on Jennifer Hudson of all people? Who's this mysterious new woman that's got him grinning like he just won the lottery? And is Tiffany actually plotting to swoop in and snatch him back just for bragging rights? Look, I'm not here to kick J Hud while she's already down, but let's be real. This one had warning signs all over it. Common has never been the forever type. No matter how much he tries to sell that hopeless romantic image, his dating history, nothing but high-profile flings, short-lived romances, and a track record that screams run while you can. Still, fans were clinging to hope that J Hud might be the one to finally make him slow down, lock in, and maybe even start a whole new family. But now, that whole fairy tale is looking like it just got tossed in the trash. The streets are buzzing heavy with talk that Common's been stepping out on J Hud in a big way, and word is, she's absolutely crushed. What makes it even wilder is the fact that this man was just out here, loud and proud, telling the whole world she was the one. He was even out here talking about marriage, painting that perfect couple image like it was set in stone. But the gag?
We'll talk about the other T a little later. Yeah. What?
You not got it?
You get cut off, and you motherfuckers brought the T.
The whole time, Homeboy was out here moving reckless, spreading his attention and affection all over town. While plenty of folks are genuinely feeling bad for Jennifer, Tiffany Haddish is definitely not one of them. If anything, she's enjoying the show like it's front row entertainment. An anonymous insider swears Tiffany's been eating this scandal up like popcorn at a movie premiere. And honestly, if you've been keeping tabs on Tiffany's moves since that breakup with Common, this is no surprise. She's never made it a secret that, deep down, she's still caught up on him. And now, she's got the drama she's been waiting for served on a silver platter.
I'm enjoying it. I'm not gonna put nothing extra on it. If he wanna marry me, he can get me an apartment building.
Oh, okay. That would be, you don't want a ring, you want an apartment complex.
I'd give me a duplex, an eightplex or something. You know, when the homegirl be like, where your ring? I thought you was engaged. Where your ring? Where your carrots? Carrots. Girl, please, I got units. Knock it off.
Tiffany's been tossing shade like it's her favorite sport. And some of those jabs make it very clear she's convinced Common cheated on her with J Hud from the jump. One prime example?
I'm gonna do what's good for me and the lady. You know, right now all I want is happiness, good times, peace on earth.
During an Instagram Live, a fan brought up how they had gifted Common a pair of earrings to pass along to her. They asked if she ever got them, and Tiffany didn't even blink before firing off pure bitterness. She clapped back saying, "Girl, he never gave me no damn earrings. He probably gave them to Jennifer." And she meant every syllable.
We both have professions. Well, I think once Tiffany and I got back on the move, it really didn't allow for us to spend as much time and put as much energy into our relationship. I don't think the love really dispersed. I just think it was just like we weren't feeding the relationship. And as you said, neither one of us is gonna stop. Like we both care about our crafts and what we do. And we care about love too and partnership, but I think, the energy that has been put into our careers and continuing to want to do the things that we do for ourselves and for the people, it's like, it was hard for me to balance all of that and keep the relationship.
Now tell me, if Jennifer was really messing with Common while he was still with Tiffany, doesn't that make all of Tiffany's years of slick comments and side eyes suddenly make perfect sense? It also explains why she's out here savoring every juicy second of this cheating scandal. In Tiffany's mind, this is karma doing its thing, the universe spinning the block and serving payback on a cold platter. But here's where it gets spicy. Not everyone thinks she's just here for revenge. Some fans believe Tiffany sees this as the perfect opening to slide right back in, reclaim her spot, and maybe even flaunt being the one that got away.
And he says the work he's doing on himself will help him fulfill a lifelong dream.
And you write a lot about,
You want to be a husband one day. You have a rather famous relationship coach.
Oh, yeah. Yes, Michelle Obama. She has definitely helped talk me through just certain moments of relationships. We had conversations, and she has given me a lot of wisdom. But one great thing that she told me as I was going through this journey was that you have to understand you're not going to get anybody that's perfect because you're not perfect. So understand that there's some certain things that you will compromise in choosing that partner. But as long as the core values, the values that are most important to you, that person, marks off on that list, then you good.
She gave some good advice there.
That's good wisdom.
She does some really good wisdom there.
Or in this case, the one that came back. That wouldn't scare Tiffany off one bit. If there's even the slightest chance of winning Common back, she'd be like, come here, baby, let's talk. Because truth be told, when she first started dating him, it was crystal clear she was way more invested than he ever was. She's the one who pushed for them to go public in the middle of the pandemic, like she wanted to plant her flag before anyone else could. They quarantined together, and Tiffany made sure the world knew it. She even hopped on Instagram Live with Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union, subtly angling her camera so everybody could catch a glimpse of her man in the background. A soft flex, but a flex nonetheless. Like I said, Tiffany was locked in, while Common was just there. She couldn't stop gushing about him for that first birthday they spent together, and she wanted it to be unforgettable. In one interview, she even painted out her dream plan in full detail. I'm just hoping me and my man, we go hot air ballooning and have us a nice little meal. She compared it to her past birthdays, getting tipsy with her grandma at 39, throwing a wild bat mitzvah for herself at 40. But this year, she wanted something romantic and magical. Instead, Common completely skipped the hot air balloon dream, didn't plan a thing, and just sent her some flowers. Sources say Tiffany was quietly disappointed. And honestly, flowers are the bare minimum for your woman's big day. She even admitted she was hoping for a proposal, not with a ring, but with the deed to an apartment building. Something real, something lasting. Instead, she got petals in a vase and a cold reminder of where she stood in his priorities. Tiffany had high hopes, but if you're wondering how Common reacted to all that, he pretty much made it crystal clear he was in it for a good time, not a long time. That man wasn't planning forever. He was planning weekend vibes and red carpet photos. So when they called it quits just a couple months later, fans weren't exactly shocked. If anything, a lot of people were relieved Tiffany had finally broken free from what they were calling Common's chokehold. Because, let's be real, he had her wrapped up tight. But here's the kicker. Common was the one who ended it. And instead of owning that, he tried to spin it like it was just their busy schedules getting in the way. Tiffany wasn't about to let him slide with that excuse. She fired back in her own interview, low-key dragging him by saying he might just be the kind of guy who never really settles down with anybody. Maybe he's like a bee, going from flower to flower to flower. I don't know. I wish nothing but joy and happiness. That might have sounded polite on the surface, but read between the lines, and it felt like she was hinting that he'd already been creeping. And when Common popped up with J. Hud, Tiffany circled back with more shade, telling another outlet, "It was the healthiest, the funnest relationship I ever had." The breakup wasn't mutual. It was him saying, "I think this relationship," and me saying, "Okay, you're gonna be a 50-year-old single man. Okay, now." It's starting to look like she's watching J. Hud get the exact same thing. Every single time, it's the same tired pattern. Just when the woman starts catching real feelings, he hits